Namaste, 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 Namaste. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke this verse to Prakashananda Saraswati. He was a powerful, learned scholar who had tens and thousands of disciples who were sannyasis of the Mayavad school. He was like an emperor amongst renunciates, so deeply learned in Vedas. He challenged Lord Chaitanya why you are singing and dancing with all low-class sentimental people. Why you do not come in our section and study Vedanta and discuss such subjects. After all, you are sannyas of our line. Come, be amongst your comrades. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although the supreme, all-powerful cause of all causes, accepted such a humble position. He said, my Guru Maharaj told me that I am not qualified to study Vedanta. What will I learn? Very difficult subject. He told me that I will realize everything by simply chanting the holy names. And then my Guru Maharaj gave me this precious jewel of a verse and told me to keep it with me always within my heart. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Hello, Namaste, 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 Namaste. Yet in this age of Kali, there is no other way except the chanting of the holy names of Lord Hari. And I have taken that instruction as my life. My Guru Maharaj told me that you take this name, and I started chanting. And tears were flowing from my eyes, my hairs were standing on end, my voice was choked up, my limbs were trembling. I'm becoming mad. What is this name doing to me? So I went to my Gurudev and asked him, what's happening? He said, very nice, my son. You have attained perfection. That is the power of the holy name. Nothing else has this power to awaken the dormant, ecstatic love of God from our very heart, to awaken the sleeping soul. Jeev jago, go the chantra bole, kota nitra jalo, kisachiri. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he roamed from town to town and village to village with this message. Wake up, sleeping souls. You are all eternal servants of Krishna. Krishna prema satya karuna, sravanati suvichiti karuna. The love of God, which is the only true happiness of the soul, is dormant within your heart. But you are sleeping. You are sleeping in a vast dream on the lap of Maya. Wake up. Mukunda Madhava Hari. And he taught, this is how we wake up. By loudly chanting the Lord's names, by hearing the Lord's names, in the association of devotees. There's no other way in the age of Kali. What a supreme benediction. Daivi Yeshu Gunamayi Mama Maya Durativa, Mate Vame Kapadyante Mayane Bhaktaranti. Krishna warns us that this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. Maya is Krishna's energy, his external energy. It is all powerful. Ikatasta Shakti, Jiva Atma. Our only free will is either to be utterly controlled and subjugated by Maya and tossed around in these waves of the material ocean, or to be completely subordinate and dependent on the gracious, all-attractive love of the Supreme Personality of God. That is our choice. Prabhupada uses the example of how the cat holds the rat in its mouth and her beloved kitten in its mouth. It's the same cat, the same mouth, but there's a difference. For the rat, the cat is death personified. For the kitten, the cat is the most loving, affectionate mother. The rat is always trying to figure out every type of way to escape from the cat. But the kitten is always seeking shelter of the cat. If the little kitten does not see the cat for even a minute, it's in anxiety, feeling alone, unprotected, trying to find her beloved, caring mother to protect and nourish her. So the conditioned souls are like the rat. We're trying to escape the shelter of Krishna. And therefore, Krishna manifests as Maya, the external energy, and ultimately as death personified. Krishna is none different than his name. Kali Kali Namarupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna has descended within his name to give us shelter. He's incarnated within the name to give us shelter, to nourish us, and to reveal all of his love to us. Because the name of Krishna, Chanting Krishna, it is the most precious Chintamani jewel of creation. There is nothing so precious because nothing else can give us the benediction of eternal life and eternal love. But we must understand the value of chanting Krishna's name. And it is for this reason that His Holiness Radhanath-Swami-Media has come to this extraordinary city of Mumbai to enlighten us to the supreme value of the holy name. One of the greatest misfortunes is if you have something great but you do not understand its value. You'll waste it. You will not take the full advantage of it. You'll take it as something ordinary, and you'll think that things have no real value at all are more important. But that's what we're doing every day. When we're trying to chant the holy name, the mind is wandering to so many ideas, so many thoughts, so many desires, so many aspirations, which really means your mind is trying to deceive you to think that to fix its attention on something else will give you a greater value than keeping it in Krishna's name. And this is how Maya, through our mind, is stealing away our life, moment by moment when we understand with faith the power and glory of Krishna's name, then only can we take shelter. Otherwise, our chanting is casual, or perhaps ritualistic, inattentive. Two things are very important: a very mature and honest understanding of the dangers and sufferings of material existence, and faith that the holy name of God has descended to give us supreme shelter. What is the power of material existence? What arrangement can we make to come out of its miseries? Janma mrityu jara
Dukkha dush. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dush. I forgot myself. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dush. Darshanam.
Everything in this material world is temporary, therefore it is a miserable place. How does Maya keep us trapped to remain in this miserable network? By putting us in the illusion that we can find happiness. She gives us enough happiness to keep us in a table where we don't really want to get out. Study the power of material existence. There are 8 material elements. Any one of these elements can cause mass destruction at any moment. We hear it, but we don't believe it. If we believed it, we would surrender to Krishna today. But we don't really take it seriously. But it is a fact. It is all around us. Air. Or let us say ether. Ether is just the atmosphere. Or air, such a subtle element. If there's a little too much ether or air, we suffocate and die. Yes, people die of suffocation. We just don't get quite enough air. And what happens if there's too much air? Cyclones, hurricanes, tornadoes. The most powerful material country in America, the world, America, just earlier this year was rampaged by hurricanes, one after another after another. Hurricanes are cyclones. It's nothing but air. Just swirling air that just goes out of control. Actually, it's in control. It's out of our control. It's perfectly under the control of Maya Devi. And when these hurricanes are coming, massive damage. One hurricane, billions of dollars of damage. Sometimes hundreds or thousands of people dead. A few years ago when this one hurricane was heading toward Nassau, or Cape Kennedy, yes? One of the most expensive scientific technological enterprises in all America. This is the place where they invent and put rocket ships into space. And all kinds of experimentation with other types of very high technology, weapons and so forth. And when this hurricane was heading for it, what did they do? Did they shoot their rockets at the hurricane? No, they all ran away. They evacuated to a safe place. The President of the United States said, close the place and get out or you'll die. That is the power of just one little swirling piece of wind. And fire. I'm from Chicago, so is Trinity. Last century, there was an old lady named Mrs. O'Leary, and she was milking her cow. And after milking, she went to go to sleep. But she left her lantern, and the cow kicked over the lantern. The cow must have known that Krishna threw the cow, because Chicago would be later on the largest place in the world for slaughtering cows. Stockyards. Yes, million stockyards. Millions of cows. So sweet very much. That cow just kicked the lantern, set fire to the hay. The entire city of Chicago burned to the ground. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki. You're not supposed to be so happy. It's testing you. You're supposed to feel compassion. Actually, all it was a flame this big. Now, what's in a lantern? A flame this big. But one little flame like that became such a fire that all the fire departments and everybody, they were fighting, but they couldn't do anything. All they could do is run away or die. And whether you were a multi-millionaire in a big, beautiful mansion on Michigan Avenue, or whether you're just living in some ghetto, everything burned to ashes. The power of fire. There's forest fires every year that blaze sometimes for months. And there's nothing they could do except just pray to God to send rain. So while we're talking about water, well, first let's talk about earth. Earthquake. It's just earth. What's an earthquake? The earth just moves. That's all. It's really a simple thing. If you were living on another planet and you heard about an earthquake and analyzed it, it's no big thing. The earth just moves. There's one little part of the earth, maybe a few miles long, just goes like this. Buildings are falling and bridges are breaking and people are dying, being crushed. Sometimes by the thousands and thousands. There was an earthquake in Mexico City. Thousands and thousands of people died within seconds. Latur, Gujarat. What is it? The power of earth. Just one little movement. It just moves a little. Mass destruction. Now what if it moved a lot? There would be no life left to talk about. And water. If there's not enough water, there's drought. There's no possibility of survival. If there's too much water, flood, devastation. The crops are destroyed, cities are just... I have seen in Bombay, the most economically powerful city in all of India, and becoming a giant in the world. But one cloud just pours down water, and the city is paralyzed. You know, see? The trains stop, the airport stops, the traffic stops, except Srinath has a submarine car. Thank you for that. There's once I had to go to the airport. It was a huge monsoon storm, massive monsoon storm. when the water was so deep that people, even in their big, beautiful cars, they just left it and were just walking barefoot. There were no taxis, there was no anything. They had to walk miles and miles and miles. And Srinathji was driving through it all. We were the only vehicle that worked. Oh, Mr. Power. But it was our pleasure to be going. But everybody else, because as we were going, wherever it went, it was creating, you know, when a car moves through water, everybody around was practically knocked down by the water that was coming from the car as it was moving. Yes. So water. And we have just seen what a little combination between earth and water can do. It's a tragedy. It's a crisis that we weep over. But we should also understand. It is serious. There's dangers every step in this world. When water goes a little bit out of control, utter devastation, tidal wave, hundreds of thousands of dead, billions of dollars of property destroyed, so much suffering. And this is the elements that God has given to actually sustain the planet. But when there's massive sinful activities, the very gifts of God that sustain our lives react in a massive way to create destruction. And the bombs that people are building, what is it? It's just the fine elements of God's creation being put together by the minds of human beings to be weapons that can destroy tens of millions within seconds. It's not man's power. It's the power of nature. Man is just trying to manipulate the powers of nature. But what does he manipulate? The mind, which is another element of nature. When the mind is uncontrolled, Krishna says it is the best friend. But what is the mind when it is not controlled?
Worst enemy. Worst enemy.
Your best friend. The only enemy. The worst and only enemy is our own mind. See what utter havoc human beings have created in this world because they allow the mind to go out of control. And the worst tragedy, that this uncontrolled mind steals our consciousness away from Krishna. And that is the beginning, the essence of all suffering. Mantra means that divine sound vibration that reconnects the mind to God, that actually brings about a healthy, peaceful mind, our best friend. Dina hina yapachilo harinamu tharila karasakshi jagaya. This is the power of the name. Even demons like Jagai and Madhai become pure and humble servants of the Lord, dance in ecstasy while chanting the Maha Mantra. In this age of Kali, a tsunami, tidal wave of ignorance has just devastated, flooded the shore of humanity. What is ignorance? To not understand that I am the eternal soul. And I have an eternal relationship as a servant to Krishna. And this material existence is Krishna's energy. Ignorance means to think I am this body, I am the enjoyer, and this world is mine to enjoy and control. The tidal wave of this ignorance has crushed human society and devastated morality, ethics, and spiritual values practically completely. And there is great need for relief work. When the tidal wave of water hits, we see what type of devastation. And it's every human being's duty to help his brothers and sisters. People suffer because we're egoistic and selfish. Srila Prabhupada, one man from India, went around the world 13 times to give the charity of the holy name. When there's devastation, if we have something, it's our duty to help others. But this tidal wave of ignorance, it's devastated human values throughout the world. People are becoming drug addicts, alcoholics, suicidal, wasting their lives in greed for money and lust for sex, frustrated for intoxications. And this is considered to be high society. This is considered to be culture. What is this nonsense culture? Culture is the humility, the morality, and the wisdom of the heart, expressed through lifestyle and arts. That is culture. Not how you dress or what music you listen to. I was discussing earlier today that one of our dear godbrothers from Germany told me how his family was at one time friends with one of Hitler's #2 men. Himmler, if any of you know about that regime. He was one of the mastermind demons that was responsible for ordering and murdering tens of millions of people. Innocent. That was his work. But in his private life, he was considered to be such a cultured gentleman. He wore the finest clothes. He had all the mannerisms of politeness, the etiquette of speaking in nice, respectful ways to others. He knew how to eat according to the very aristocratic manners. He was a patron of the fine arts. He loved classical music and gave so much charity to promote classical music and poetry and theater. from every materialistic way of looking at what we consider culture. He was a very cultured gentleman. He spoke sweetly, and he did all the things that the high echelons of cultural society respects and adores. But in his heart, he was such a ruthless murderer that he slaughtered millions of innocent children, women, and helpless men, even in old age. Torture. Kali Yuga is the age of superficialities. People do some religious rituals. People give in a little charity, and they act in a very sophisticated, cultured way. And people think they're great. But behind the scenes, they're lying, they're cheating, and for their own wealth or greed, they don't care if they crush other people's lives and leave them with nothing. This is Kali Yuga. People are so pathetically superficial. What is substance? The substance is the character and the values of a person's heart. And that is what makes a person great. What great people do, the followers, the common people will follow. Look at Kali Yuga. What kind of a tidal wave of devastation has come upon us throughout the world? The leaders of the society, who people all over the world are trying to follow their example and imitate, are people of low character. People with physical power, athletes. Now actually, if a person's a great athlete, and by his example and words is teaching values, morality, and spirituality, that's a great thing. But so many of them, they're just greedy for money. They're drunkards and woman hunters. Taking intoxications. These are the great heroes of today. Athletes. Many have no moral values whatsoever. And who are even greater than the athletes? The cinema stars and television stars. So powerful is their influence. I spoke before. There was a great actor in the 1950s, 1940s and 50s. He smoked a cigarette, and it looked so sophisticated the way it would hang from his mouth. And he would talk while smoking that cigarette. He would make love while smoking that cigarette. He would shoot people dead while smoking that cigarette. Millions of Americans and Europeans started smoking cigarettes and holding it the same way. He's their hero. We must be like him. Yes. I spoke with a big person from the television industry in America some years ago, and he told me that practically all of these people are so degraded. But they love to put a masquerade that they look very nice. So selfish, so egoistic, so much immorality. The profession is not bad. What is good or bad is one's character. So yes, these are the people. People want to become like, who want to imitate. These are the heroes of Kali Yuga. or sometimes politicians who do anything to gain power and stay in power. I'm not saying they're all like that. There are good, honest politicians too somewhere.
Someone not on the planet Earth.
All respects to any good politician. But many? They will look very charitable and nice and kind to get the votes. But behind the scenes, what they may do to gain their power and keep their power. So much corruption. So this is the age of Kali, where the leaders and heroes of society are generating the wrong message. And therefore the masses are lost, devastated of practically all good qualities. Krishna tells, religion is taken to be irreligion, and irreligion is taken to be religion. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told us this tidal wave of ignorance has hit the earth in a most powerful way, and the inner virtues of humanity are devastated. There must be relief work. Therefore, Bharata Bhumite Vaila Manusya Janma Jar Janma Sarthaka Saratakarakara Upakara. We need welfare in this world. He ordered every person in India, and he ordered every one of his followers, be an instrument of compassion. We have heard from Radhanath-Swami Maharaj the priceless value of the holy name. We have it. It's given to us. Why are we lusty and passionate for the broken glass of this world? However it sparkles and shines, if you become attached to that glass, it's going to cut you and make you bleed in your heart. So warning, and it's true. So yes, we must understand, what is this age of Kali? What is the condition of our own heart, and what is the condition of the world? And we must also understand what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared to be the prime benediction for all humanity. Nam Nam Kali Bahuda Nija Sakha Shaktis. Krishna has descended with all of his power, with all of his beauty and sweetness. The full-fledged love of God is to be realized in chanting his holy name. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Thus, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has told us, Radhanath-Swami Maharaj sang this song so beautifully last night, that the essence of all religion is to show compassion to others, especially by broadcasting the glories of the holy name. To chant the holy name, to serve the Vaishnavas, and to show compassion to others is the essence of all religion. And what is the greatest compassion we could do? Physically, we show compassion by doing welfare work for those who are suffering. Emotionally, we show compassion by encouraging people, by kindness to others. Spiritually, which is foundational to everything else, spiritually we show compassion by trying to give people an understanding of the priceless value of Krishna's name. So that when we chant, we actually take shelter. The name of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught in every state of his life, from his infancy. He would cry to induce everyone to chant. Wake up, sleeping souls. The holy name has descended with all powers to bestow Anandam Vivartanam, the inner fulfillment that everyone is searching. And there are no hard and fast rules for chanting. That is why it is so suitable for Kali Yuga. Yajna, so many hard and fast rules. Meditation, so to do it properly, so many hard and fast rules. Deity worship, many hard and fast rules. Who could do it in Pali? But in every time, in any place, even if you are a Chandala, Aho Bhata Swapa Chotoganiyam Yajjivani Bhartati Namatubhyam. Even a Chandala who has no education whatsoever, who's just trampled on by egoistic society as being worthless outcasts, even that person, if he simply has faith in the holy name and takes shelter in the holy name, that person, Kapila Dev says, Mahaprabhu says, and all the great Brahmins and Rishis who know the truth say that Chandala will not only be able to completely purify himself, but could be the guru for the entire world. Is it the Chandala's power? That is the power of the holy name. No hard and fast rules. And it's for everyone. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood so much sinfulness, egoism, and vain superstitions in the name of religion were just haunting the people of Bengal. Therefore, he told Nityananda Prabhu and his associates, go there like a madman and save them. Don't consider who's fit or unfit, because if you consider that, you'll have nothing to do. With the tidal wave of Nam-Sankirtan, devastate all lust, envy, anger, greed, pride, illusion, all ignorance. Wash the heart clean and allow the pure essence of love to reign. That is the benediction of chanting the holy name.
Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
When Srila Prabhupada came to New York City, he had no money. 40 rupees which could not be converted. Nothing. He did not have a healthy body. He had an old, sickly body. Materially. At least appeared that way. He had no wealth. He had no kind. He had nothing. He had a box of books. And what did those books tell? The books told the whole philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam with culminates in the last verse of Bhagavatam, that in this age of Kali, the only hope is bowing down with humility to the Lord and chanting His holy name. All he he had was faith in the holy name and the compassionate order of his guru to spread the holy name all over the world. And see how.